Okay, one of the biggest things about life is always be in control of what's going on. That's a big law of life. Okay, so for example, um, that overrides always look at the bright side, look at the positive things. Because, you know, my friend had an iPhone and the battery's kind of small and it dies really fast, right? So he said, I wish I had a bigger battery. I said, well, look on the bright side. At least it charges really fast. 'Cause it's such a small battery, it charges really fast. Yeah, it drains fast too, but hey, it charges. You put it in the charge. Once it does die, you put it in the charger. An hour later, it's fully charged. When you have a bigger battery, it takes like 2 or 3 hours, which takes forever. So that's an example of looking on the bright side because it gives you back that sense of control. It's like, I mean, because they're not gonna change the battery anyways. What are you gonna do? You're gonna start a fucking a movement, an Occupy Wall Street movement, big ass movement, just to get Apple to make a bigger battery. That's the only way you'd get a bigger battery. Basically, essentially, you have no control over the issue, so you have to look at the positive. Okay, but in other ways, looking at the positive of an issue um, takes the control away from you. That's what you gotta say. So you can't just say, "Oh, just look at the bright side of everything." No. Like for example, say if there's like a school shooting or this or that, you'd be like, "Well, look at the bright side. It could have been more casualties. Now's not the time to be pointing fingers. Let's calm down and be thankful we live in such a great country." That's not good because we do need to use that anger that we're having to get more control over the situation. That's basically the whole problem is lack of control. That's why it's such a big deal. So so you got to be like, how do we get control over the situation? People are killing, each other and themselves with guns, school shootings, and all that stuff. So let's get control over the situation. It all rolls down to control. So when someone says, just be thankful, that it didn't happen in your town or it's not that big of a deal. They try to minimize it. No, the freak outedness you have when you're freaking out and all that stuff about a terrorist attack or whatever. You need to use that, keep that, use that to make change. And once you do have the new laws in place, then you can relax and look at the bright side. Well, after the Sandy Hook tragedy, in a perfect world, after the Sandy Hook tragedy, they would say, oh, well, now we have mental health care is a requirement in Obamacare or something. So every American now has to have some sort of mental health checkup or whatever the hell they would do. I don't have a solution, but let's just say that's what it was. They have a new law because the Sandy Hook thing. Then you'd be like, well, now you can look on the bright side because you actually done something. You added control to the situation. But you can't just say, well, look on the bright side. It happened a few years ago. Nothing else happened since then. You really can't. I mean, that's neutral at best. You can't look at it as a positive because it still happened. Children still died. So just be on the lookout for that. Anytime you feel like someone's effing with your mind and they're like using some sort of tactic against you, ask yourself, am I losing control or am I gaining control in this situation? Like if they say, like if someone's spinning you, they're in the spin zone, if they're spinning you, they're giving you lies. Ask, is what he's telling me, the solution he's telling me, is that giving me more control over the situation, or am I still right? And I'm still right if what I'm trying to argue is more control over the situation. So I keep mentioning the word control. I just want you to know that that's a focal point in the laws of reality, in the fundamentals of reality. It's control. You know, try to. You don't think it's that big of a deal. Try to take control away from someone else, and look how fervently they they go towards it. They try to get it back. People will freak out if they lose control. You know, they may not be fully in control of everything. Like they don't care about politics, so they give up that control. But it's not that big of a deal to them. It's not their purpose. Not everybody's supposed to be in control of everything. So that's the other way of looking at it. But if things are pissing you off, then that means you're losing control over something that you do care about. So just remember that. I never thought about it in terms of control. I always thought about it in, oh, look at the bright side, even when I should be angry about a situation. That's why it's okay to still be angry. There's a law in Bruce Lee's book, and he said, like, every emotion has its place. Well, I still don't know when to have the emotion that is rightfully supposed to be there. If I get angry at something and someone tries to calm me down, is he right or am I right? You never know. Maybe he's right. Maybe I need to calm down and think about something. Well, the solution of knowing when someone else is right, when you're right, is which one of you is trying to give you more control. Let's see, trying to give you more control. Which one is not trying to take control away from you? I'm freaking out about something and someone is coming up to me like, Mike, just chill out. Bro, it's not a big deal. They're trying to take away my sense of control. I'm freaking out about something, and that emotion I'm having is a response to try to regain control over a situation. If someone comes up to me and says, relax, it's not that big of a deal, that's a sign that they want me to relinquish my control and just be, and not only that, but to be okay with that. To be like, Mike, it's over. You don't deserve control. Don't worry about it. That's basically what they're saying. But they're not going to say it that way. They're going to translate it. That's why the words we say are only such a small percentage of what we're actually meaning, because people are not honest enough verbally. People have sinister needs. Sinister needs. People inherently, to survive, you need to take. To survive, you need to take. You need to eat food, plants, animals, just that itself, just to survive, just to run off of everything. We need to take. So be careful who's taking from you, and if it's an equal 50-50 transaction, or if it's more 60-40 in their favor. Always be on the lookout for control. People who try to take it from you, people who try to impose their reality on you, and their reality is a very taking mindset. Alright, guys, think about it.